Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do something here with this tree that I found at a local big box store. I've got a little video I filmed as I was walking through. They had these little boxwood bushes, trees, whatever you want to call them, just on a big cart. I guess they had a special on them or something. But I was going through, and when I looked through nursery stock, as I'm sure a lot of you do if you're looking for potential bonsai material, you go through and kind of look at from here down on the tree. The rest of it is kind of secondary. You just kind of want to look to see if there's potential here first, and then kind of see what's happening up top. But as I was going through, I found a couple, and here's one that I found. It's got a decent trunk on it. It's already got a little bit of root flare down there, and the kind of boxwood this is, it's calling it a heritage boxwood. Traditional boxwood habit, but more compact, ideal as a hedge on taller foundations or in containers. Responds well to pruning into shapes. So when I saw that, responds well to pruning into shapes, that makes it a good bonsai candidate for me anyway. So today I thought we would get it out of this pot. It's been, whenever I buy trees, because you don't know where these are shipped in from when they arrive at the big box store, or if I order some online, they're usually from a different climate. So I let them acclimate for a week or two, sometimes longer, just to kind of make sure they're still growing and happy. And then I start repotting. And I'm a little more conservative on new trees when I repot. So I'm going to put it in a training pot that's a little bit oversized for the size of the tree anyway, but I'm hoping I can get enough of the root base off to get it into this pot. But we'll see once we get it out of here. But let me go ahead and start by taking this tag off. Let's see. Okay, so let me get the tray here. Okay, so I've got the tray, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and dump this out and then start on the root work. Just kind of squeeze the sides a little bit to loosen it up. And this tree wasn't too expensive for a small tree. It was like 13 bucks when I picked it up, so not too bad for starter material anyway. Let's see what kind of roots we got here. Let's see, let's start at the top and kind of see what kind of root flare we can expose. Got some weeds growing in here. See if we can get most of those out of here. And sometimes I'm a little more conservative on trees like this too. I try not to do a ton of root work, even though it sounds like you can on these, but I try to leave some of the soil on here, as many roots as I can, and then really tackle it on the next repot. But this first repot is when I'm a little more cautious, just especially since you got to take off a lot of the base here to get it into a pot, which One could argue that, you know, you could just go ahead and start styling it before you get it in, you know, to put it into a pot. But in my mind, that just makes the whole process a little more difficult because the roots just continue to grow in this tall pot, and you have a bigger issue later on down the road. So, but sometimes this doesn't go as planned, and I can't get enough roots off of it that I'm comfortable with to get it into a shallow container. So I may have to put it in a little bit different size container to start with, but we're gonna give this a shot. So you can see most of the roots were chasing the bottom of the container where the moisture is and wrapping around there, so makes it a little more difficult. But that's pretty tight there. I'm just going to go ahead and give these a little chop. Looks like that's where most of them are. And one of the reasons why I picked this up while I was looking, I'm looking for, because most of the trees that I have are tropical, and I'm in Texas, North Texas, in zone 8B, and I've still got to bring my tropicals in the wintertime. And I'm looking for trees that I can keep outdoors, and this is one that I can. So that's the other reason why I was interested in picking it up. I think I'm going to go ahead and start trimming these here. Get rid of that there. I think it's still going to leave me enough roots to keep it healthy, hopefully. Let's get that long taproot there coming right down the center. But I think we've got enough roots on there to. I'll continue to baby it and let it recover in its pot. Another big root that's coming down the bottom here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that a little more. Maybe not with scissors. Get the old branch cutters out here to get that. It's tough. There we go. I think that'll work. Yep. Set this aside so I don't make a mess here. And like I said, I'm just going to use one of these plastic training pots and kind of tuck it down inside there. But I want to see what I want to use for the front here. So I'm thinking that's probably the front. Get rid of some of these little sucker branches, but I like the root flare on that. So yeah, I think we'll use that. Maybe offset it just a little bit, but keep it still somewhat centered. I'm thinking like that right there. So I think I will try to tie this tree in the pot. So let me get a piece of wire to tie it in. Just loosely measure piece of wire here. Should give me enough. And I use these plastic training pots. They've got holes in the bottom all around the edge for wiring. Nice drainage, so pretty handy to have. Keeps the expense down when you're trying to grow new trees anyway. So I think that'll work right there. So we'll run this wire probably right up through the center. Feels about right. There we go. I'll get some soil in here. I'm just using my standard Bonsai mix here, which is expanded shale, turfus or calcium clay, and a little bit of organic component. And what I'm also going to do is take some of this soil that I took out of the tree and put it back in. It just helps grow some of the fine roots on these newer trees, and I just kind of mix that in with my current soil just to add a little bit more organic component. And this is pretty good stuff. It looks like it's got like some bigger shavings in it, so like here's a, you know, almost like mulch. So whenever I come across some good soil like this, I'll just kind of repurpose it back into the initial repot just to keep some of the native soil around the roots anyway. Just makes me feel better. And it does help the, like I said, help the roots grow. Because at this stage, I almost still try to treat them as nursery stock, you know, keep it in that kind of grow mix. I could cut some of these roots off, which I think I probably will. Just didn't want to do this much root work, but well, these trees were cheap enough, so hopefully they make it. Like I said, it's still got a lot of these fine roots on it, so I think we'll be fine. So I'm not too awfully worried about it. And tie the tree in here. That'll work. Cut off the excess. Tuck it down in there. Let's make sure I'm happy with the placement. Centered everywhere, looking good. Go ahead and fill up the rest of the soil. And like I said, I'm just going to scoop off some of this soil that I took off for the repot and mix that in there. Just to keep it a little extra happy. It'll just help it hold on to a little bit more moisture too. It's not too hot outside yet, so but I'll keep this guy a little protected until I know it's recovered. Use my chopstick here just to nestle the soil in under the roots so we don't end up with air pockets. We don't grow a lot of boxwoods. I mean, other than in the landscape, you know. We got some topiary stuff, you know, bigger ones in containers, but not really any bonsai boxwood. So we'll see how this goes. And if you want to follow along, I'll post updates on this guy as the summer goes on. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss a video. Just kind of tamping this down because the vibrations help nestle the soil in too, along with the chopstick work. Getting close here. Yeah, so I thought I would, you know, again, reason I did this video is that I'd share, you know, what you can find at a big box store. And like I said, this tree was whatever it was, 15, 14 bucks, 13 bucks with plus tax. So really, from buying the nursery stock, using a plastic pot, a little bit of bonsai soil, I've got a bonsai tree here for not a whole lot of money. So just, you know, be on the lookout when you're out at your local garden center or big box store, because I think you could probably find some nice little trees to get started with. Not going to do a lot of pruning, but I will clean this up a little bit. 2 branches here, and this one's kind of coming out towards what I'm designing as the front, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this guy. Just clean out some of these leaves down here. Let's see what else we got going on in here. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of work up top. So it looks like it's kind of been pruned already. I see some big cuts on here. I probably pruned it at the nursery where it was growing, just to kind of make it more compact. So yeah, I think I'll probably just let it settle in and not really do a whole lot. Just make sure the soil's nestled in there. And then I'll take it out and give it a good water and put it in a somewhat protected spot on my bench. And just kind of watch it over the next few weeks, make sure it's healthy and responding well. So yeah, nice little tree, and we can kind of develop it into, we can wire some branches down. And I already like the rough bark on it. Could probably quickly turn this into a decent little show-hang size tree. So pretty happy with it, especially for the cost. So I think that'll do it for today. So let me give you a spin around here. Here's the front, left side, back, right side, and back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.